Hi guys, it's Kelly at Lost Girl Reads. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to have a bit of a spontaneous video. This is something that has been on my mind for quite a long time, and I thought now would be the best time to approach it and to try and talk about it. I've literally just this second stopped watching Veryn Getchell's video about their own spiritual struggles, and it really sparked something within me and really made me want to try and work out ways to overcome it, you know? Like, I'm someone who has been going through a bit of a spiritual break for well over 6 months now, I think. And it's festering inside, you know? And I really want to try and work out ways to overcome it. And I thought by watching Veryn talk about, I'll link their video in the description box below, watching them talk about and exploring their own spiritual struggles and working out ways to overcome it and asking for advice was really, really amazing, because it's a really honest and open thing to have to talk about, you know? And I thought the best way that I can try and work out a way to overcome it is if I open up as well. So it hit me suddenly about 6 months ago. I stopped doing tarot, I stopped working in my grimoire, I stopped working in my book of shadows, I stopped speaking with deity, I stopped offering things, I stopped working at my altar. Like, everything just suddenly came to a standstill. I was admittedly going through a very, very tough and troubled time. I ended up going to speak with professionals about my mental health and things like that, which probably factors into it quite a lot. But it's just something that I never picked back up again, you know? I kind of just let it disappear. And I don't want to do that anymore, because my spirituality is a massive, massive part of my life, you know? Like, I identify as Wiccan, as pagan, as a witch, and I just kind of let it fade away, and that was really, really sad. So I'm going to try, and I've got a list here of 5 things that I'm going to try and get it back. It's very small things I can do at first, because I don't want to start setting up a tarot journal again. I'm not quite ready for that, or doing massive things, but nothing with a time frame. So like what I used to do a tarot journal, and I'd write in it every single day, and at the end of every month I'll do a reflection, and then I'll move on to the next month. I don't want to do that. That is way, way, way too much at first. But what I thought I'd do is, if I compile a list of little things I can do to try and spark that energy again within me, I'd be able to eventually go forward and get that, like, everyday magic back into my life, you know? So without further ado, let's go into the 5 things. So number 1, nature. Get back in touch with nature. I've spent the last few months not really leaving my house much. I'm going to be completely honest about that. I've had some struggles with my mental health, which has led me to be quite afraid of leaving the house. But what I want to do is I want to integrate a little walk, maybe not daily, but just a little walk where I get in touch with nature. I could go for a walk in the park and pick up leaves or little sticks I find. You know, like, I'm very much someone who, like, loves this time of year. Like, it's autumn where I am, and I'm someone who absolutely loves seeing conkers and really beautifully coloured leaves and things like that. And I'm just going to pick them up, take them back with me, put them on my altar, you know? Like, it's just something very, very small. Like, I don't even have to integrate witchcraft into it by making it a ritual or something that I deeply have to set out and go and find this leaf. I'm just going to put some music on, go around, pick up a leaf or a flower or a plant or something. Take photos of the sky, take photos of a plant that you like, you know, like something small that I can integrate into my daily life that feels a bit magical, you know, just something that feels magical again. The second one I want to talk about is a music playlist. This can kind of go hand in hand with the nature way of doing things. Like when I'm out and about on my walk, I might make sure I have a playlist compiled of all songs that make me feel witchy. You know, like for me, it's very, very simple. I listen to Fleetwood Mac. If I want to feel witchy, I'll listen to Fleetwood Mac. And if I compile a list of songs that make me feel witchy, that I can listen to when I'm on that walk, it instantly makes me feel like I am a witch again, you know, like not like a modern day witch, I'm like a vintage witch. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's just things like that make me feel witchy, you know. And you can do it with other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be just for when you're going outside. Maybe you have an hour or two, or even like 10 minutes, like you could just put on your playlist and dance around your room. You know, or put on a playlist when you're cleaning and you'll instantly get that energy, and that energy is something that you want to hold on to make you spark that witch like mindset, and it will immediately, like, I don't know how to explain it, like it's this little ball. I see it as a ball of energy inside me, and when I have that energy, that ball expands and takes over my body, and I immediately feel like a witch again. It's a complete like mindset type thing, and it's internal. It's nothing that like actually happens. Like I don't grow a witch hat on my head or anything like that, but you make you feel like you're a witch again. And I feel like music is a way to do that. The third way I want to talk about today is reading. I have been neglecting my reading practice, not my fiction reading practice. I've been quite on top of that, but I mean my non-fiction practice. Reading is a way of transporting you back into that mindset again, and helps you gain knowledge and enthusiasm for what you're reading. And I have 2 books that I'm going to try and read by the end of the year. Like, I did say no time scales, but if I can read 2 books by the end of the year, I think I'll be well ahead on the road back to my spiritual practice. As I'm filming this right now, it is October, so I'm not giving myself like a really, really short time frame. It's literally just 2 months to read 2 non-fiction books, which is something I'd read more than that in 1 month. You know? So 2 books I'm going to try and get myself to read is Rebel Witch by Kellyanne Maddox. And this one is Carve the Craft That's Yours Alone, which I think is a deeply amazing thing to overcome a spiritual struggle. So I think this is your way of, this book talks all about finding ways of making witchcraft your own practice and being a unique witch and things like that. Which I think when you're struggling with a spiritual practice, this could be a really, really important thing to remember, is that everyone, like, witchcraft is unique and spirituality as a whole is unique, you know? And no 2 people are going to have the same experience. And I think that's really, really important to keep in mind, because you do sometimes feel very, very alone in what you're struggling with. But to be able to feel empowered and confident about your spiritual practice is amazing. And I feel like this book is a great one to get you back onto the spiritual track. Just keep in mind that I've never read it. But it's a good introduction, or reintroduction in this case, you know, so start from the basics. The next book I want to talk about, the second one, is The Witch's Survival Guide, Spells for Healing from Stress and Burnout by Jennifer Lane. So in this book, Jennifer Lane is talking about healing, and especially healing from stress and burnout and learning to have a calmer life. And I think this one's really important as well, because it gives you spells, it gives you candle magic, it gives you ideas on how to gain your spiritual connection once more. Which, unlike in Rebel Witch, where it talks about the basics, this one goes into the more practical sides of magic, which I think is also really, really important. Because it's all right to sit there and go like, okay, I've got a journal, I'm a witch again. I went outside for a walk, I'm a witch. But sometimes that isn't enough for some people, and some people may feel like, I want more to do. I want spells, I want rituals, I want, I don't know, journaling magic. I want everything. And you might feel like you have no ideas, which is when reading can be really, really important and can help us get back into our spiritual side in a more practical aspect. So I feel like when you're reading, inspiration might hit you as well. So like, say there's a spell in here. What's this spell here? Apple Folklore, an apple spell. And it has a list of ingredients. Not every one of those ingredients might be something that you associate with that spell. And I feel like that might jumpstart your spiritual mindset again, which is what I'm really desperately hoping for. Because I'm someone who, I don't follow recipes. I write my own recipes, so I don't really follow other people's, because I feel like their correspondence might be different to mine. So this could be really, really helpful. So the fourth way I'm going to try and overcome this spiritual struggle is usage of my altar. I'm someone who is a bit overwhelmed at the sight of my altar right now. It's very, very messy. It's very, very cluttered, and I miss being able to decorate it for the seasons and things like that, but I just don't feel motivated to do that right now. But something that I am going to try and push myself to do every morning is to leave an offering. I have this little bottle, so I'm just going to fill it with water. It could be from the tap, it could be filtered water, whatever your preference is. Mine is filtered water, but that's just me. And like filtered tap water. So I'm just going to fill it up, leave it on my altar, say a little thank you, and then go along my day. It's nothing that's going to take longer than 2 minutes, but that like habit that will build from doing that every single day will eventually expand into doing other things, like leaving bigger offerings, chatting with deity, spending a little bit longer sat at your altar. You can even go back and add music to it as well from the earlier point of playlists. So that's something that I'm going to do every single day. And it sounds a bit daunting at first, but it's literally just filling up a glass of water, putting it on your altar and saying thank you. And I feel like that could really help rekindle that flame for spirituality, as well as bridge the gap between myself and deity once more, if that makes sense. And the final way I'm going to overcome this spiritual struggle is by resetting my grimoire and my book of shadows. This one's a bit of a big one, which is why I don't have any time frame for this right now. I'm just going to whenever I have a spare hour or something, redesigning a new page of my grimoire, because I feel like during this space that I've had between myself and my spiritual practice, I have forgotten, or kind of like, I don't feel like I'm the same person who I was when I first started my grimoire. So I have my grimoire here. This is my old one. I don't feel connected with this one anymore. I don't enjoy the paper I use. Some of the pages look cute, but it's a very, very small, it's smaller than A5. And I don't like it anymore, you know? It's beautiful, but I just don't care anymore, you know? Which makes me feel really, really sad. So what I have here, I have a Yop and Tom A5 dot grid that I'm just going to use as my new grimoire. It has solid white pages and I love these journals. I think they're amazing. So it's something that immediately sparks my passion again, and I have a solid journaling practice. I absolutely love my journals. So that's already got that excitement going. And by resetting it, I'm starting to think like I'm a new witch again. I've been reborn and I'm starting a new journaling practice, and it's exciting. I also started separating my grimoire and my book of shadows. And this is my book of shadows. I've got a few months worth of things in here because I've been working on and off for a few months in it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It has little moon phases on it. It's gorgeous. And in here, I do my book of shadows work. So each month, here's October's, I can show you. I have my cards for the month, and I'm going to do a little passage at the end of the month on how a reflection. But it's just things like that, you know, that help reset, get you back into the frame of mind. I find other things that help as well are things like YouTube, online resources, especially YouTube, because YouTube shows other people in your similar frame of mind overcoming obstacles and things like that. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube to try and help rekindle that flame for witchcraft again. And chatting with people about things as well. I find that that's really helpful. If you're struggling in the broom closet and things like that, it can be quite difficult to try and speak with other people, but that's where online forums and things like that, or things like Reddit, or I think Amino had like a witchcraft section, or even just YouTube comments as well. I'm finding just commenting on other people's videos and being open and honest that way is really lovely. I also speak with my fiance about my witchcraft practice because I'm fortunate enough to not be in the broom closet. But it's just things like that, you know, so that's what I'm hoping to try and do. And if you're in a similar position, which could be why you've clicked on this video, I really, really hope that I've been able to offer a little bit of advice and some good suggestions to try and help you guys get back in touch with your spiritual sides. Please leave me a comment down below if you guys have any other advice or any other ideas. I'd really love to hear them. And thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys!